Hey y'all, welcome to episode 5. My goodness, welcome back. As I mentioned, I think like in episode 1 or 2, as the weeks go on, of course, I'm going to get deeper and deeper. But tonight's episode is centered around a question that a friend of mine, shout out to Carty, asked me today actually. And so this is in real time. But he asked me a question that stopped me in my tracks. And the question was, if you could go back and change one thing, just one thing, if God granted you the opportunity to change one thing in your past, what would it be? Now, initially, my first response was nothing, right? Because everything from my past has helped me to become the woman that I am today. But I felt a nudge in my spirit that was just like, that's not the answer. You got to think on this one. So I came home this evening and I began cleaning and thinking about the question. And the answer was so clear. I would change how much I allowed offense to dictate so many different seasons of my life. And that answer, y'all, it surprised me because I never considered myself to be an unforgiving person. I've always extended grace. I've always shown up. I've always tried to love people well. But what I've learned is that forgiveness and offense are not always the same thing. Because even though I forgave people, once I became offended, something else happened. I now know that to be like a different root got planted. I became more guarded, more protective, more cautious. I began interpreting situations through previous wounds, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And in this season of my life, I can honestly say that I am now, just now, digging up soil from different areas of my past and allowing God to plant new seeds. Because I understand that God can't fully use places within us that remain hardened by bitterness, by hurt, and by unresolved offense. And so a few weeks ago, it's so crazy that he asked me this question today because a few weeks ago, I was getting my makeup done by my makeup artist, Kayla, who also, man, she happens to be my little sister at this point, and she had a bookshelf full of books in her home. And the one that stuck out to me was titled The Bait of Satan, right? And so I immediately went to Audible and I downloaded The Bait of Satan by John Bevere and I began reading it. And I've read it from front to back at this point. And author John Bevere talks about offense as a trap. And that word trap, oh my goodness, it felt so heavy but accurate because offense rarely announces itself, right? Like nobody wakes up and says, today I'm going to be bitter. I'm going to be guarded. I'm going to build walls. No, offense usually 9 times out of 10, it starts with pain. Like someone disappointed you, someone rejected you, someone misunderstood you, someone betrayed you. And here is a big one, someone failed to protect you. And man, let me tell you, that wound, the wound is real. It's real. The pain is real. And the problem with that is what gets planted after it, because hurt eventually starts producing beliefs. And like offense starts telling us all of these just different stories. Stories like, if I let people close, they'll hurt me. Oh no, I have to protect myself. I'll never allow that to happen to me again. Ooh, I've said that a few times. Or I have to love people, but from a distance. I'll forgive, but I won't fully trust again. And y'all, what I've learned is that what's dangerous is after a while, those thoughts, they stop sounding like wounds and they start sounding like wisdom. And I want to go on a tangent, but I'm not. I will say go. If you are reading the Bible, read Isaiah, because as a result of those wounds, we start to self protect. And when we self protect, we begin to call it discernment. We call it boundaries. We call it maturity. But sometimes, and in my mind all the time, they are simply unhealed offenses. And y'all know I'm in a season where I just have to be honest with myself. So I had to be honest with myself. I had to ask myself, man, how much of my life has been shaped by things that I thought I healed from? And this is the part of the book that challenged me the most. Author John Bevere states that offense spreads. It changes how you hear people, it changes how you interpret situations, how you enter rooms, how you trust, how you allow yourself to connect with people, how you love. It talks about how an offended heart starts expecting injury. I could just drop the mic right there. It becomes vigilant, hyper aware, protective, and eventually, offense doesn't become something that just happens to you or happened to you. It becomes your lens. And he talks about how when it becomes your lens, people aren't interacting with your wounds anymore. They are interacting with the version of you that your wounds created. And so here's something I realized. I spent years of my life extending grace to people, right? But in certain places, what I didn't realize is that I was still carrying roots. I'd forgiven, but I hadn't fully uprooted. And those roots were affecting things I didn't even realize. The way I responded, the way I protected myself, the way I interpreted situations, the assumptions I made, the walls I built. Well, I will say it took for this season to make me grow tired, right? Tired of things that happened years ago. Or tired of allowing old pain to dictate current relationships. Tired of giving previous wounds authority over current seasons of my life. There was and still is a craving for new soil, right? New plants, new seeds. Like I want God to do something different in this season of my life. So maybe this episode isn't about the people who hurt us. Maybe it's about becoming honest with what grew after the hurt. Because everyone experiences pain, everyone experiences disappointment, but not everyone stops long enough to ask, what got planted in me afterward? Because whatever was planted is or will produce fruit. And so I think that your true healing is going to begin there. Like not pretending we weren't wounded, but becoming honest about what roots we're carrying. Because I don't know about you guys, but I am determined to not allow offense to write yet another chapter of my life. The only author of my chapters I want is God. So as I say with every episode, I am not above you. I'm not behind you. I'm right here walking this thing out with you. And so if you are dealing with offense of any kind, first I would suggest getting John Bevere's The Bait of Satan. It's available on Audible. You can also go to Amazon and order the book. It is amazing. There's so many testimonial stories in there. It's just really good. But then also, of course, give yourself grace and just take things one step at a time. Offense is easy to learn, but it is hard to break because by the time you become aware, you've built up so many different walls and just so much that you have to relearn everything. But believe me, make the choice, stick to it. You got it.